Hi everyone and welcome to Club 2 episode 26 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So our recent game against Barry Town in the last episode where we lost 5-2 really dented our confidence, and we've really struggled with Kefin Druids after that. We got 2 draws, but they were really struggling to find any sense of momentum in their gameplay at all. And it sort of went into the FM20 game as well. We won that 1-0, but it was a real struggle, and everybody's confidence has just gone through the floor. And it's going to take something to get us back out of that, I feel, at this point. It's been a real problem the last couple of games. So I've changed the team around a little bit. Today we've gone back to what our first team 11 is really, but over the last couple of games I have been sort of playing about with different people and tactics and formations and stuff. And we've come back to where we were because in FM20 in the previous game we went back to that and it worked for us, but it's been a real problem. And the problem is that it's not going to get any easier, is it? Because today we've got the New Saints. We're only going to be playing the Welsh Premier League game against the New Saints today. There's too much of a gap time-wise between that and the Cup game, and there might be some other games put in between that. I don't know when the restructure happens after the 22nd game in the Welsh Premier League. So there'll be some additional games coming for that, for the top half to play each other for the rest of the season. So yeah, I thought I'd keep the episodes as short as I can, and we're only going to play the first of the 2 games against the New Saints today. Everything else is as you would expect it to be. In terms of the playing staff, they're all fit and healthy. They've all had a bit of game time recently, which has been positive. Hazel has found his way back into the side because, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Will Evans just wasn't performing. I thought he would do better than he did. He didn't, so he's back out the side again. So for today's game against the New Saints, we'll just check in momentarily on the actual league. You can see that we're only 1 point clear of Bangor in 4th place behind us. So things have sort of closed up a little bit behind us, and we haven't been able to make any inroads on the top 2 at all, which has been very disappointing. But you know, that's the way it is at the moment. So, yeah, today's team for the game against the New Saints is Fuller in goal, Harden at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Hazel, Rogers and Smith in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left, Busumbru up top with a bench of Hope, Nichols, Evans, Pritchard, Fenlon and Rickards. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've let the assistant give an encouraging team talk just to see if we can get some motivation from the players. We're at home, which helps us against the New Saints. Always going to be a tough game to play. They are pretty much the best side in the league, although Barry Town are sitting top at the moment. The New Saints are, historically speaking, pretty much the dominant force in this particular league, I would suggest, currently. So they're always going to be difficult. So we'll see how we cope with them. But it's a first opportunity for New Saints, and they hit the woodwork immediately. Give us a real shot in the arm to say, you know, we're here to try and get something from this match, and so they got another corner kick opportunity, and straight at the goalkeeper that time. Unfortunately for them, their finishing wasn't quite up to standard, but they're piling on the pressure. A reasonable clearance for us on that corner kick, but they've got it back again in midfield and come back at us straight away, and through to this right hand side and wide of the post. We are being absolutely hammered in terms of the pressure of the game, aren't we? Under the cosh completely. You can see we've had no opportunities whatsoever. We've had plenty of possession, but we have done literally nothing with it, and that still remains the case. I can cope with it a little bit whilst we're still at 0-0, but we've got to look as though we're actually able to achieve something. And don't you dare play around with it at the back and cause us a problem. Fortunately, that time they didn't. And it was actually a good ball into Rowlands. Back to Smith, who can take his time a little bit, bring it forward, and tries to ride the challenge. Doesn't quite, but Rowlands picks up the loose ball, goes back to Rogers, who continues our momentum moving forward. Hazel and Rogers in midfield. Over the top for Busumbru. Is he going to take his chance? And he did. Busumbru, a real sucker punch for the New Saints. We've got 26 minutes in, and we've just taken the lead, having been absolutely put under so much pressure for the first part of this first half. And what a lovely move it was. We rode a couple of challenges, but central midfield players played really nice 1-2s to each other. Eventually found the space for a chip over the top for Busumbru, and he doesn't make any error whatsoever, and that puts us 1-0 up, completely against the run of play. It's our one shot in this game so far. Now we've had 2, but at that time it was the only shot we'd ever had. And it was just, we were so much under pressure for most of that. It's such a surprise that we actually go into half-time 1-0 up in the game. Now, how on earth do we keep hold of this whilst the New Saints are going to come back at us? What are we going to do to actually keep this? I'm going to, first of all, give the team talk. Let's go assertive and say, don't get complacent out there. See if we can focus them. And then we're going to build them up passionately. I'm very happy with your solid defensive display. Give that to all of them. Tell them that we're happy with them. See if we can keep their momentum going and the confidence high into the second half. Then we're going to chuck them out there and just see what happens in the first few minutes of the game. We might have to use a couple of shouts or a little bit of a change in tactic to see us through. But so far, it's been so good. And let's see if we can keep it going. A chance for us down the left hand side with a throw in. So the throw in comes in from Owens, gets it back again. We hoped to have kept possession of the football there for a longer time than that. It is, after all, the way we're trying to play at the moment. But yeah, it didn't quite work out, and they've got an opportunity past us, and Fuller pulls out a really good save. Last line of defence as it goes over the top. Fuller comes out from his goal, cuts down the angle and produces a great save. The corner comes in, but it was a disappointing corner, and the highlight dies at that point. But it's a little bit edgy, isn't it? Let's stop the play and go in and make a couple of substitutions. And it's in the attacking area that we need. Look, these three across the central attacking midfield line that we need to change. Sarmento, he can come off. Fenlon comes on. Pritchard on for Smith. Rowland's off for Fenlon on the left-hand side. And just get those fresh legs in that part of the pitch. And then before we go too far, we're going to shout as well. And we're going to say, let's think what we're going to do. We're going to praise them just to keep the momentum up. But then we're also going to go defensive as well for the last little bit and see if we can just soak up the play, playing our compact style of football. The free kick comes in for the New Saints, and they win the ball back in the penalty area, have another chance, and it's... happens so often to me. Every time you do something to change it, immediately they cause you a problem. You have to then rearrange everything. So we're going to have to go back onto positive and just see if we can continue to put some pressure on them now. Our defensive our defensive tactic, didn't last 2 minutes, did it? Harris with good hold-up play there. Alexander on the right-hand side cuts it all the way to a completely free man on that far post. And that's a decent finish, but it was made far too easy by our lack of defending in that particular section of the area of the pitch. So what have we got here? We've got a free kick. Jake Fenlon on the free kick hits the wall, has another go, and a follow-up strike from Pritchard. 79 minutes. Am I going to go defensive again? What do you do? Do you keep going back and forth? I think I'm going to leave it as it is just for now and see how we cope with the rest of the time in this game. Oh, it took a wicked deflection, didn't it? A couple of decent shots from Fenlon, the follow-up from Pritchard, but it took a vicious deflection, and we take the luck there. But here the New Saints come again, cleared off the line, cleared again, and the highlight goes. And a heart in the mouth time on that particular occasion. 90 minutes gone. Can we hold out for another couple of minutes of added time at the end of this game? We go into midfield, but the New Saints have it. Come back at us. Surely that's offside. But Fuller stands up nicely anyway, and it was offside. But what a good stop by Fuller anyway. Taking ownership of the situation, and he takes us through to full time, and we have beaten the New Saints. And that's a really special performance at the point where we were having so many problems in the lead up to this game in terms of our momentum and confidence. And even in that first half, we were so put under pressure by them. I thought we were going to really struggle, but eventually we pull out an absolutely vital win. It gets us a little bit away from Bangor, and you can see that we're now, what's that? We've got 7 points between us and the New Saints. So we are hanging on, just like by the fingertips to the New Saints ahead of us. which is just so important leading into the last part of this season. So you can see that the next stage has been, the next stage of the competition has been drawn, and we've got 2 games still coming against the New Saints, one in the Cup and one in the Championship portion of this season. That's really hard, isn't it? Let's go and have a look at how the rest of it stacks up. So you can see that we play the New Saints at this point, and we finish with Barry Town at the very end of the season. When things are being played for, we get the tough games to play. But we're going to have to give it as good a go as we can. So come back next episode and we will probably play the Cup game against the New Saints. It's big enough for me to want to do that. So we'll play the Cup game in the next episode. Possibly even followed by a further game against them in the following episode. I don't know. We'll see what we feel like at that time. But yeah, a really important result today. I'm very happy with the way that eventually we dug it out. Compared to that first 25 minutes or so where it was really hard work. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me on this particular episode. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. Subscribe to the channel if you are. Click the like button if you like this particular episode. That helps to get seen by lots of other people, which is great. Helps the growth of my channel. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon, and bye for now.